Hello students. In last lecture we have completed our chapter number 1, that is amplifier, in which we have studied small signal amplifiers, how to plot AC DC load line, what is AC and DC load line, after that frequency response, gain bandwidth product, designing of a single stage amplifier, effect of coupling capacitor, bypass capacitor, and we have seen the designing of two-stage amplifier also. Now we have done with the basic concept of op-amp amplifier and its related things. Now today we are going to start the second chapter, in which we have to study about the power amplifiers, in which we are going to study the different classification types of amplifier, which we have discussed in the previous chapter also: class A amplifier, class B, class AB, and class C amplifier. All right, so without wasting time, we will start with the chapter. The name of chapter is power amplifier. So we will see what is power amplifier first, and then we will go for the classification of amplifier. Okay, so as you can see, there is a block diagram of amplifier which is shown in the figure. First you have a microphone. After that there are voltage amplifier, couple of voltage amplifier are there. After that we have a power amplifier, and output of power amplifier is connected to the speaker. Now a voltage amplifier are going to do what? It is going to amplify the voltage, and all voltage amplifiers are small signal stage. Okay, now if we want to handle a large power, then in that case we need a power amplifier. So this is what is the main perspective behind using a power amplifiers. So the motive behind using power amplifier is that we need to handle more power at a same time. After that, we should know the efficiency of power amplifier. For that, there is a formula. Efficiency of power amplifier can be calculated as signal power output divided by DC power input into 100%. As we want efficiency in percent format, we have to multiply that ratio by 100. Okay, so how to calculate efficiency of power amplifier? It is a signal power output divided by DC power input. Now, after that, we will see what is the actual difference between small signal amplifier and large signal amplifier. The first thing is that amplifier is a fun, like here in this column there is a description of parameters. After that we have a small signal amplifier, and then we have a large signal amplifier. Now first parameter is your amplifier. Small signal amplifier is going to amplify voltage, and in case of large signal amplifier it is going to amplify the power. After that, gain. Now gain of small signal amplifier is very high. It is about 20 to 150. And in case of large signal amplifier, the gain is very low. It is about 20 to 50. After that, efficiency of small signal amplifier was not great. We have studied that, but in case of large signal amplifier, efficiency is very high. Distortion is less in case of small signal amplifier, and distortion with whatever we are going to get at the output, that will be more in case of large signal amplifier. After that, input signal. In case of small signal amplifier, if we apply input up to some millivolt, that is low input, even we apply, then in that case also your amplifier is going to work properly. But in case of large signal amplifier, it requires the voltage of 2 to 4 volt. So it is going to require a very high amount of voltage. After that, a coupling. In case of small signal amplifier, RC coupled is mostly used, and in case of power amplifier or large signal amplifier, we mostly use a transformer coupled amplifier. After that, collector current. Collector current is low in case of voltage amplifier. It is about 1 milliampere, and in case of large signal amplifier, it is more than 100. Okay. After that, power output. Output of small signal amplifier, as its name indicates, it is going to be low in terms of milliwatt, and in case of large signal amplifier, output is very high, and that is in watt. Output impedance high in case of small signal amplifier, and it is about 12 kilo ohm. In case of large signal amplifier, it is low, up to 200 ohm. After that, we have active device, small signal transistors like BC107 and AC125. We have seen transistor is using as a amplifier circuit. That is why these active devices we are using in the small signal amplifier. In case of power amplifier, we uses a power transistors, for example SL100 or 2N3055. And the heat sink is very important. In case of small signal amplifier, we are amplifying the voltage. That is why there is no excessive heat which is produced inside the circuit, and in that case we don't need actually a heat sink. Okay. since what is going to happen, it is going to emit the very low power. And in case of large signal amplifier, it requires heat sink. Why? Because it handles a high power. Okay. After that, see this classification of power amplifier. So power amplifier are classified according to the mode of operation around the operating point Q. This is because the transistor used in the power amplifier handles a large signal. Hence, the collector current is either at cutoff region or at the saturation region during the input signal. So, in case of power amplifier, how we are going to classify power amplifier? We are going to classify them as the mode of operation and location of operating point. So, for such kind of classification, we have multiple types. For example, class A amplifier, in which we had our Q point at the center of your load line. So in case of class A operation, the transistor stays in the active region throughout the AC cycle. We have seen for entire AC input, whatever you have applied, for that your transistor is going to remain on, and the output current flows for 360-degree angle for the full signal. So it is going to remain on. It is going to conduct the current for entire input signal. Now, in case of class B amplifier, transistor stays in active region for half cycle. Thus, the output current flows for 180-degree angle. So, positive or negative half of the signal. So, in case of class B amplifier, we know if you are applying a sine wave at input, your transistor is going to remain on just for only one half cycle, either positive or negative. For the remaining half cycle, it is not going to conduct. That is why your output, whatever you are going to get, that will be 180-degree out of phase. In case of class AB amplifier, this is an operation between class A and B. So in case of class A, we had our Q point at middle of the DC line. In case of class B, we had our Q point at the extreme end on the DC load line. So in case of class AB, we have our operating point at the middle of your class A and class B amplifier. Okay. So this is the operation between class A and class B. The transistor is in the active region for more than half cycle and less than complete whole cycle. Okay, that is output current flows between 180-degree to 360-degree. And the last type of classification is class C amplifier. So in this configuration, output current remains zero for more than half cycle. Okay, for more than half cycle, your output going to remain zero. The power amplifier are designed by referring above definitions. Okay, what we are going to use? We are going to use this above classification for the power amplifiers. So without wasting time, we will actually start with the class A power amplifier. The first we have to remember that in class A power amplifier, the collector current flows at the time during the full cycle of the signal. We know in case of class A amplifier, the position of operating point Q is at the middle of your load line. What does that indicate? It indicates your transistor is going to remain on for the entire input signal. Correct. So your your collector current is going to flow for all the time of your input signal. That is, the class A amplifier operates near the center of your load line. Now we will find out the efficiency of class A amplifier and amplifier with resistive load. We are not going to see this transformer couple load because it is not listed in our syllabus. Okay, so we will start class A power amplifier with resistive load. Now what we have to see here, we have to see the class A power amplifier. Class A means what? It is going to the output characteristics of this, in which we have DC load line, and on that DC load line, operating point is on the middle of your load line. What is power amplifier? What is power? It is going to handle a very large power, or it is going to amplify the power. What is amplify? It is going to increase the strength of the signal. And what is resistive load? So at the output, we are going to connect a resistive load. All right, so this is how we have to design a class A power amplifier, and we have to check the efficiency of class A power amplifier. Okay, so consider the power amplifier circuit as shown in the figure. So this is the figure which is shown, and we have to consider this circuit only. So now see, it is exactly similar to that of previous circuit, class A amplifier. In previous chapter, whatever circuit we have seen, that is exactly similar to this. But instead of having RC or collector resistance at this point, we have RL, that is load resistance. Okay, so this is what is the only change we have in this class A power amplifier with resistive load. Okay, that the difference at the difference is at the place of collector resistor RC, the load resistor RL is connected, which is to be driven by the power amplifier. So what is the function of this power amplifier? It have to drive that load resistor. The transistor is driven in the class A mode of operation with the maximum swing of collector current and voltage to emitter, collector to emitter voltage. Now, the thing is that entire operation of this circuit is that this transistor should produce enough collector current so that this RL or load resistance, we will get some output across this resistor. All right. Here, we assume that current IC flows through the load resistance RL. Also, RE is bypassed through C. So we have seen this, like, it is clear in the diagram, RE is bypassed through C. Therefore, the AC voltage across RL must be equal to VC. So as RE is bypassed with the C capacitor CE, then whatever voltage you are going to have at RL, so this voltage, whatever voltage we are going to have at RL, that will be equal to the collector to emitter voltage. Okay. See, the voltage at this point will be equal to voltage at this point, collector to emitter voltage. Why? Because RE is bypassed through capacitor C. Okay. Now, to calculate conversion efficiency for the power amplifier as shown in the figure, we have to estimate the AC power delivered to the load. What is the amount of AC power which is delivered to the load? We have to calculate that first. And it is general formula to calculate power. We have formula P is equal to IV. Okay, so by using this formula, we can just easily write this statement PL. Why? Because we want to calculate the power across load resistor, which is equal to VCE. What is the voltage across that resistor? Collector to emitter voltage into IC. Whatever collector current is flowing, that is IC. So you can just write your AC power delivered to the load RL is equal to PL is equal to VCE into IC. Also, the DC power supply by the power supply at collector can be calculated as DC power PDC is equal to VCC into ICQ. Simple. Where ICQ is what? It is a collector current when the input is not applied. Okay, if you are not applying any input, still there is some kind of collector current, and that is ICQ. Okay, and that is the Q value current. Now, ultimately what we have to calculate, we have to calculate the efficiency. So efficiency can be given by the eta. This symbol is called as a eta. Okay, that will be equal to PL, power delivered to the load, divided by PDC. It is a DC power supplied by the power supply. Okay, so whatever power supply we have, what is the actual amount of power which is given by that DC supply, that is PDC into 100, because we want our efficiency in percent format. Now, if we simply put the values of PL and PDC in this formula, what is PL? VC into IC. So VC into IC divided by what is PDC? It is VCC into ICQ. VCC into ICQ into 100%. Correct. So, as the power amplifier is operated in class A operation, that is Q point at the center of load line, we have to find the maximum swing of VC and ICQ, which is around the Q point. Obviously, what we have to calculate, we know this is a class A amplifier. And we know the property of class A amplifier, it will have its Q point on the middle of your DC load line. All right, so that is why we want to calculate maximum swing. Okay, that is we have to find out the VCE variation, that is collector to emitter voltage variation, which is equal to the VCC and ICQ, and which is maximum equal to IC. Now we know this thing, we have already used those terms in our above equation. This situation can be understood from the output current and voltage waveform of class A amplifier as shown in the figure. Now I'll tell you how to understand this. So by looking at this figure, we will be able to understand how to calculate the efficiency of class A power amplifier. So what we have to calculate here, see that from the figure, operating point Q, the location, the points or margins of point Q is VCEQ and ICQ. Correct. So this is your VCEQ point and this is your ICQ point. It is at the center of your load line, and that is why we have VCC. The supply voltage or VCC is equal to 2 root 2 VCE. See, this is half cycle is nothing but your root 2 VCE, and the other half cycle is root 2 VCE. So that is why I can completely write VCC is equal to 2 root 2 VCE. Correct. After that, what we have ICQ, which is equal to root 2 IC. All right. So this is the value of ICQ root 2 IC. Now we have to substitute these values of VCE and ICQ in the calculation of efficiency, which we have to obtain as eta is equal to, what was our equation? Eta is equal to PL upon PDC, or we can have, like, after putting value of PL and PDC, we got this equation VCE into IC divided by VCC into ICQ. But here we have value of VCC. Okay, so in this formula we can substitute value of VCC as 2 root 2 VCE, and we can substitute value of ICQ as root 2 IC. Correct? By putting that value, we will get this equation: eta is equal to VCE into IC divided by VCC into ICQ into 100. Okay, this is what is our previous equation, and if we put values in this, we will get 2 root 2 VCE into root 2 IC into 100. Okay, now what will happen here? 1 upon 4 into 100%. How we got this equation? Just by calculating the equation. Okay, this VC and this VC will get cancelled. This IC and this IC will get cancelled. 2 is as it is. Root 2 into root 2 is 2, and 2 into 2 is 4. That is why 1 upon 4 into 100%. And 4 ones are 4 and 425 is 100. That is why efficiency is 25%. All right. So hence the maximum efficiency of power amplifier with resistive load in class A operation under the minimum distortion. Like ideally distortion is 0. So with the minimum distortion, efficiency we are getting is about 25%, which indicates that the 75% of power is wasted across the transistor heating and dissipate across the load resistor. Ideally we are expecting 100% of output, but we are not getting 100% output. Why? Because the 75% of power is wasted across the transistor in terms of heating, right? And we are getting only 25% at the output. Only 25% of DC power supplied is converted into AC load power. Now we have supplied 100% of power, but out of that only 25% of your DC power is converted into the AC. Okay, therefore this type of power amplifier would be poor choice for the high power application. If you want to use, or if you want to go for a higher power application, so in that case choice of this amplifier will be the poor choice. Since there is direct flow of current through the load resistor and collector to emitter, most of the power is wasted. This problem can be solved by using the transformer. The coupling at the collector for load resistor, which gives the power amplifier with per transformer coupling, having better efficiency than the resistive load power amplifier. Okay, so if you want to increase the efficiency of this type of amplifier, instead of using a resistive load, we can go for a transformer load. Okay, so we will see the remaining things in the next lecture. For now, this is all it.